Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? What were the things that you noticed, how you changed, how you grew, how you healed? Because I want people to see, because for me, everything got different. And I want
Yeah.
to know what happened for you.
Yeah. It well, first of all, I mean, I actually before that happened, I spent a year on the couch, literally with a psychologist every day, 5 days a week for a year on the couch, psychotherapy to deprogram me because his messaging, it was like a tape in my head where I immediately something would trigger me and I would go back there and I was always beating up on myself, telling myself I was worthless, just all this negative self-talk. And I'd already done that work, but anytime I would talk to him, it was like fingernails on a chalkboard. I go right back there. So it was really recognizing the dialogue I was having with myself. And I think this is a key point I like to make with people. And that is it's these everyday micro decisions that we make. And part of those micro decisions, the how we view something, how we view the event and the story we tell ourselves, the perspective that we choose that's determinative of our lives. And so for me, understanding that I needed to change the way I was viewing things, shift my perspective, and change the internal dialogue I was having with myself. That's something you'll do the rest of your life. Every day I try to get better about that. I find a new way I can talk to myself. Yeah. But it was again, transformative. And another thing I did was I did something called healing hypnosis, which I never thought I would ever do anything with hypnosis. But basically, what happens with healing hypnosis is my therapist would have me travel back to a memory and then have my present day self talk to me when that event happened. And so it's creating self compassion and learning to view yourself lovingly, which when you grow up in a toxic environment, we were never treated lovingly. So we don't know how that happens. So to finally get to a place where I'm having a loving conversation with myself saying, you were just a little girl. You were just trying to do the right thing. You didn't do anything wrong, and saying, I love you to me. Um, that has been really helpful.
I love that you said that. What role did being vulnerable with yourself play in this?
I think a lot of times, and this happens a lot with friends, is they minimize what happens to us, and they're like, "It really isn't that bad." I mean, even with my son getting choked, they're like, "Oh, come on, Carrie, it wasn't that bad. You're exaggerating." Are you kidding? Like, what do I have to do? Like, what has to happen for people to let me off the hook with my father? He choked my son. But internally to be vulnerable, I had to really see myself fully and acknowledge the pain that I had experienced because again, everyone else was minimizing it. I had to own it. I had to say, look, all this stuff that happened to me, it really did happen to me. And it really was incredibly harmful. But facing it and again, owning it and acknowledging it and saying, look, this was shitty. This really sucked. But what can we learn from this? What can we take away from this? Where are the gifts in this? Because I like to say, the tagline to my book is, blooming, finding gifts in the shit of life, because shit is quite literally fertilizer. And it's in the messes, failures, traumas of life that we find what we need to bloom into our greatness. So, but in order to harvest those gifts, you have to be vulnerable with yourself and acknowledge your traumas, failures, hardships, and own them.